Making headlines this hour. Maldives and Japan reaffirms their commitment to strengthening bilateral ties as the two countries prepare to celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations next year. Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy states that businesses play a critical role in ensuring that hazardous chemicals imported into the country and the resulting waste are safely disposed of. And National Integrity Commission announces that it has resolved a substantial backlog of long-standing cases and aims to conclude all remaining pending matters with an expedited timeframe.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz expresses condolences following the demise of Sub-Inspector of Police Ahmad Asif, who passed away while on duty during a police operation at sea.
In a message shared on social media, the president said he received the news of Asif's passing with deep sorrow. President Muiz noted that Asif died while carrying out his duties for the Maldives Police Service and extended his condolence to the officers' families and colleagues. The president also extended prayers for the family to be granted patience and strength during this difficult time. In his message, President Muiz further prayed for Allah's mercy upon the deceased and for him to be granted eternal blessings in paradise. According to police, Ahmad Asif passed away on Wednesday night while serving aboard Police Launch 57 during an ongoing operation. Police said Asif was reported missing from among the officers on board the vessel. A search operation was subsequently launched, during which he was found underwater. Authorities stated that medical personnel at Mathiwari Health Center confirmed that he had already passed away by the time he was brought to the facility. At the time of his death, Asif held the rank of Senior Sergeant. Police has since posthumously promoted him to the rank of Sub-Inspector of Police. The Maldives Police Service said an investigation into the incident is ongoing.
The Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises, Hassan Zarir, is appointed as the President of the Local Government Authority, or LGA. The LGA was previously chaired by former Finance Minister Musa Zamir before his resignation from the Cabinet on the 8th of June. In accordance with Article 140 of the Constitution of the Republic of Maldives and Article 59 of the Decentralization Act, the President of the Local Government Authority is accountable to the Parliament on behalf of the authority. Zarir holds a Bachelor of Accounting and a Master of Science in Finance from the International Islamic University, Malaysia, or IIUM. He is also a fellow Chartered Management Accountant, or FCMA, or CGMA, in the United Kingdom and a Certified Practicing Accountant, or CPA, in Australia. The Maldives and Japan reaffirms their commitment to strengthening bilateral ties as the two countries prepare to celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations next year.
The pledge was made during a courtesy call by Japan's ambassador to the Maldives, Ishigami Rumiko, on Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif at the President's office. During the meeting, both sides highlighted the long-standing friendship between the two nations and explored ways to deepen cooperation across a range of sectors. Discussions focused on expanding collaboration in human resource development, infrastructure, education, sports, climate resilience, disaster management, and community development. Vice President Latif expressed appreciation for Japan's continued support to the Maldives, describing it as an important partner in the country's development efforts. He also welcomed growing people-to-people exchanges and underscored the potential for greater tourism and economic cooperation. Japan has long been one of the Maldives' key development partners, contributing to projects aimed at strengthening public services, infrastructure, and capacity building initiatives. The meeting concluded with both countries reaffirming their commitment to enhancing cooperation and further strengthening the partnership between the Maldives and Japan ahead of the diplomatic milestone in 2027.
Ali Sharif, the Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, states at a recent policy consultation meeting that businesses play a critical role in ensuring that hazardous chemicals imported into the country and the resulting waste are safely disposed of.
The dialogue at Hotel Jen gathered experts to address handling complications and construct a permanent framework. The Environment Ministry observed, due to its dispersed geography and escalating waste volumes, the Maldives is uniquely vulnerable. Meeting participants highlighted that relying heavily on industrial and healthcare imports, the country requests urgent administrative and legal reforms. Consultations focused on establishing robust life cycle standards from importation to disposal. Minister Sharif remarked that managing this waste is a collective responsibility across all sectors, noting that enterprises must maintain a leading role in ensuring regulatory compliance. Participants highlighted that these protocols as an absolute necessity for safeguarding public health, environment, and occupational safety. Attendees provided feedback on a three-pronged draft national action plan designed to coordinate initiatives, harmonize sector policies, and expand institutional capacities under the primary oversight of the Environment Ministry. Organized under the Eliminating Persistent Organic Pollutants Through Sound Management Initiative, a partnership with the United Nations Development Programme and the Global Environment Facility, the project has already established temporary storage centers in Addu City and Wandu in Ra Atoll. A broad coalition of ministries, regulatory authorities, municipal bodies, and academic stakeholders attended.
The independent oversight body, National Integrity Commission, announces that it has resolved a substantial backlog of long-standing cases and aims to conclude all remaining pending matters within an expedited timeframe.
Tasked with ensuring the fundamental integrity of law enforcement agencies and personnel, encompassing the Maldives Police Service, Maldives Customs Service, Maldives Immigration, and Maldives Correctional Service, the Commission holds statutory authority to investigate procedural violations and human rights abuses. Historically, extensive delays in addressing complaints hindered optimal outcomes. Fatmat Sharif, the Vice President of the Commission, acknowledged on the PSM News program Rajya Miyadu. While unresolved matters remain, efforts are underway to finalize these investigations, she noted, adding that rapid employee turnover and COVID-19 operational shifts drove the stagnation. The pandemic-induced backlog expanded considerably, Nafha Hussain, the Commission Secretary General, explained. Officials noted, in a marked departure from these historical challenges, the Commission is now receiving comprehensive cooperation from the police, customs, corrections, and immigration departments.
The Ministry of Health, Family and Welfare, in collaboration with Abdul Samad Memorial Hospital, kicks off a 3-day surgical camp, promising residents of Tinadu and the broader atoll access to top-tier surgical expertise without traveling to the capital. The camp, running from 11 to the 13th of June, brings together 10 doctors specializing in fields ranging from general and laparoscopic surgery to plastic reconstructive care, gynecology, urology, bariatric, oncologic, neurosurgery, and anesthesia. Their mission is twofold: to treat patients directly in the outpatient department and to offer advanced procedures, including laparoscopic operations and common surgeries, to those who have been suffering from long-standing or complex conditions. In addition to patient care, the visiting team will conduct technical workshops and training programs for local doctors and nurses, aiming to strengthen the hospital's own surgical capacity. A key component of the camp is an evaluation of Abdul Samad Memorial Hospital's current services, with a detailed report to be prepared afterward to guide future improvements. Patients seeking consultation or surgery can book an appointment by calling 1555. The hospital is set up dedicated registration counters for the camp to ensure smooth flow and minimal waiting times. The initiative is part of a broader provincial strategy to decentralize advanced medical services, reduce referral burdens, and ensure that the people in the atolls receive the same standard of care as those in the capital. According to data released by the Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, the state collected $132.99 million in total revenue during May, falling short of official projections.
The total, including 88.54 USD million in foreign currency, represents a 5.8% decrease compared with last year. Officials attributed the decline primarily to a 19.5% drop in tourist arrivals driven by the war in Western Asia, which reduced goods and services tax, tourism land rent, and quota freeze for migrant workers. May collections were projected to be 0.3% lower this year, though figures were slightly buoyed by lease extension fees, which generated nothing last year. Faced with constraints, the state supplemented totals through proactive enforcement, which reclaimed 24.78 million USD. Late payments constituted 13.8% of revenue, while proactive campaigns secured 21.9%. The authority recovered $15.71 million via formal notices, 4.42 million USD during dues clearance, 3.83 million USD from structured installments, 600,779 USD through reminders, 220,732 USD via enforcement measures. Tax collections formed the majority of revenue. The goods and services tax generated 74.61 USD million, or 56.3%. Income tax brought in 15.18 million USD, and the green tax generated 9.02 million USD, a 6.8% share. The airport development fee generated 10.25 million USD. Departure tax brought 10.12 million USD, and work permit fees contributed 460,444 USD.
The Ministry of Economic Development and Transport announces that the RTL, or Rajya Transport Link ferry system, has served around 1.6 million passengers since its launch 4 years ago.
Speaking on the trade desk with ANA, Deputy Minister Ibrahim Yasir highlighted the government's meticulous tracking of passenger data, noting that travel patterns are regularly analyzed to improve service delivery. The RTL network currently provides high-speed ferry and bus services divided in different zones. In Zone 1, covering Ha Alifu, Ha Dalu, and Shavini atolls alone, roughly 1,000 people travel daily, making it the most fully established segment of the network. Initially launched in 3 atolls, RTL has expanded to 15 atolls, with 5 still awaiting services. The ministry plans to launch operations in Mimu Atoll later this month, followed by the remaining Zone 3 atolls, Kafu, Alif, and Alif Dal, alongside Vavu, in line with President Dr. Mohammad Muiz's directive. Maldives Transport and Contracting Company, MTCC, is conducting island-wide awareness campaigns in Mimu Atoll, holding information sessions to prepare residents for the upcoming service. The government's ultimate goal is to connect the entire country before the end of the year, providing affordable and reliable transportation for essential travel such as public commuting and health services.
The Maldives Transport and Contracting Company announces a section of the Hemveru ferry terminal area close to accommodate the redevelopment of Barutakuru has been temporarily reopened for the embarkation and disembarkation of marine vessels. Under the broader infrastructure initiative, the paved zone extending from the Hemveru ferry terminal directly to the President's office remains entirely cordoned off. The state contractor is currently widening the roadway and relocating the quay wall outward, an operation that initially necessitated the complete closure of both the terminal and the forward jetty areas traditionally used for waterfront transit in the capital. The company said completion of a localized segment of the quay wall has allowed the jetty situated between the Maldives Post Limited building and the Barcelona Sundra Male Hotel to be authorized for temporary maritime operations, officials noted. Despite this partial reopening of the waterfront, the adjoining stretch of Barota-Corofano-Magu remains an active construction site and is strictly closed to vehicular traffic and the general public. Although the designated area is now accessible to ferries, the company appealed to parties utilizing the sector to exercise caution. Individuals operating within the vicinity are requested to act in strict accordance with instructions issued by project personnel. Work on Barota-Corofano-Magu is proceeding at a highly accelerated pace, according to the contractor. The state firm has targeted the conclusion of this month for the completion of all tasks currently underway in the initial phase of the road development project. Visit Maldives Corporation, or VMC, and Crossroads Maldives signs the host property agreement for the World Travel Awards Asia and Oceania and Indian Ocean 2026.
The agreement was signed by Visit Maldives Corporation CEO and Managing Director Ibrahim Shuri, alongside Alexander Traeger, General Manager at Sai Lagoon Maldives and Crossroads Marina. The Maldives hosting the World Travel Awards Asia 2026 will bring one of the travel industry's most prestigious award platforms to the Maldives, welcoming key tourism stakeholders from markets across Asia, the Pacific, Australasia, and the Indian Ocean. According to VMC, hosting the World Travel Awards Asia 2026 in the Maldives underscores the country's standing as a leading global tourism destination and its continued appeal in the global market. It provides a valuable opportunity to further showcase the Maldives' tourism offerings to key industry stakeholders across Asia, Oceania, and the Indian Ocean region. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Shuri highlighted the significance of bringing the prestigious award platform back to the Maldives. He said, "Hosting an event of such global prestige is not only an honor, but a clear reflection of the strength and appeal of the Maldives as a destination on the global stage." The World Travel Awards represents excellence in travel and tourism, and bringing the event to the Maldives reinforces its position as a leading global destination defined by world-class hospitality, distinct island experiences, and consistent service excellence. VMC expressed its appreciation to Crossroads Maldives and the World Travel Awards for their continued collaboration and support in bringing the 2026 edition of the awards to the Maldives. The corporation said the partnership reflects a shared commitment to supporting the destination's visibility through globally recognized platforms.
Insights into business. South Korea's privacy regulator says on that the country will fine e-commerce giant Coupang $409 million over a massive leak of customer information last year and illegal collection of personal information in the country's largest data breach penalty on a company.
The Personal Information Protection Commission said the New York-listed company has leaked personal data of more than 33 million customers and failed to detect the breach within the 72 hours required by the law. According to Reuters' calculation, the fine amounts to 1.4% of Coupang's revenue of 45 trillion won in 2025. After the fine was announced, Coupang apologized for having caused concern to the public and its customers. However, the company said that it regrets that its proactive measures to prevent secondary harm from last year's data leak incident, as well as its explanations based on clear facts, were not sufficiently reflected in the regulator's decision.
Updates on world affairs. Oil prices climbs more than $2 a barrel as Iran declared the critical energy choke point, the Strait of Hormuz, closed after the U.S. launched additional strikes against Iran.
Iran's top joint military command announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, including oil tankers and commercial ships, saying any vessel that will attempt passage will be shot at. However, the U.S. military said that commercial ships continue to transit in and out of the strait. It also said no U.S. warships have been struck in the strait, after Iran's state media reported U.S. ships near the waterway were targeted by missiles and drones. U.S. forces began launching additional strikes against multiple targets in Iran, the latest in an escalating exchange of attacks that threatened to reignite a full-scale war, which was paused in early April when the two sides agreed to a fragile ceasefire.
Moving on to sports, the locals tells, OG Anunoby taps in a missed three-pointer with 1.2 seconds remaining a night as the New York Knicks completed the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history, stunning the San Antonio Spurs 107-106 at Madison Square Garden to move within one win of their first championship since 1973.
Trailing by as many as 29 points in the second half, the Knicks rallied to take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 is in San Antonio on Saturday. Jalen Brunson led New York with 36 points and 7 assists, while Anunoby contributed 33. Karl Anthony Towns added a double-double of 13 points and 10 rebounds. The turning point came when Victor Wembanyama was whistled for a flagrant foul on Towns with 9 minutes 27 seconds left in the third quarter. San Antonio leading 81-52. The Knicks scored the next 13 points and never looked back. New York still trailed 95-75 early in the fourth before a Jose Alvarado three-pointer ignited a stunning rally. Back-to-back threes from Alvarado and Brunson pulled the Knicks within 104 with 2 minutes 21 seconds remaining, before Brunson's floater gave New York its first lead of the game. Stephen Castle's 2 free throws put San Antonio back in front 106-105 with 30.3 seconds left. But Anunoby blocked De'Aaron Fox at the other end to set up the decisive sequence. Brunson's long three rimmed out, only for Anunoby to sweep in and seal a famous victory as the sellout crowd erupted. For the Spurs, Wembanyama finished with 24 points and 13 rebounds, despite fouling out of contention. Dylan Harper contributed 21 off the bench, while Fox and Devin Vassell each scored 18.
Concluding with news and lifestyle, the locals tells Cretan businessman Michalis Zouridakis that he was crazy when he first mentioned he wanted to build an 8-meter-high Cretan lyra, a historical and cultural symbol of Crete.
The 42-year-old bakery owner first thought of making something with bread, but he opted for a more long-lasting gesture to express his admiration and pride for the traditional instrument, which is played at weddings and festivals and accompanies the Cretan mantinada, a rhyming folk poem synonymous with Cretan culture. The Cretan lyra is the alpha and the omega for Crete, he said. It took 6 months to create the structure as he wanted to carefully follow the specifications of an original 3-stringed lyra, he said. But this structure weighs 600 kilograms and he had to use polyester used to build boats to make it more durable and light than the original wood. The large structure can't be played, but Zouridakis, who does not play the lyra himself, brings his musician friends to play the original regular-sized lyra, which stands at about 60 centimeters in comparison. Zouridakis and a friend who works in construction built the lyra in a workshop in the northern Greek town of Serres, after he could not find an appropriate working space in Crete. He would frequently leave the bakery over the 6 months to continue the work, which was completed in May. Transporting it was one of the most difficult challenges, including finding a flatbed truck to fit it, an almost empty passenger ferry during off-peak hours to get it across the sea, and obtaining special permits to pass through Greece's national highways. It now stands in his native Pitsidia village on the main road to the popular tourist village of Matala, and Zouridakis has applied for a place in the Guinness World Records for the largest Cretan lyra. People from across Crete and Athens have come to see it, he said, and he has also received phone calls from abroad.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.